Remember that scene in Animal House with the young Kevin Bacon, all is well, remain calm, and then he gets flattened by the onrushing crowd? Well, not saying that's analogous, but volatility is way down as the stock market has gone up. In fact, the VIX at a 3-month low. Let's talk more about this and any potential risks out there with Matt Maley and Boris Schlossberg. Boris, I'll start with you, and I'm trying to throw the Animal House references in, and anytime I can. Are things too calm, or is this the correct level of fear right now, which is low?
I think I'll surprise you and say that I think it's a relatively correct level of fear because the macro backdrop is actually very, very favorable. We just, economically, everything seems to be in expansionary mode. We're coming into a situation where we're likely going to have a bigger fiscal stimulus coming to the economy. So the first 6 months of the year should be relatively good, and the stock market is clearly responding to that with a low VIX. Having said this, though, there's always exogenous shocks, quote unquote China, any other possible shocks that we could have, so that a lot of this stuff could get wiped out very quickly. But for now, if you sort of look just at the macro picture alone, I think it's relatively benign, and therefore the VIX is reflecting the right conditions.
Well, I would push back a little bit, Boris. I mean, I hear what you're saying about the economic conditions, but yet, to your point on China, you've got a president who's basically poking China in the eye by taking a call from Taiwan. He's calling out two Dow components, United Technology through their carrier unit and Boeing as well.
Right.
It's shouldn't that alone, reveal a higher level of fear?
Let's call it the Trump turmoil, right? It's just at this point the kind of a situation where we're so used to every single day being a drama day that in fact it actually makes the drama much less potent at this point. So I think unless the Chinese do come back at us, at this point, I think things are relatively okay. Nobody's taking it too seriously, I think, and that's really what the market is communicating.
Matt Maley, would you agree?
Well, I do agree to a degree, but one of the things that this does allow us, though, of course, is that if you want to hedge, you can do it cheaply. And one of the things that we're going to look for is actually, we all talk about, moving into the end of the year, but early in the first part of the first couple of months of any new year is also a key year for institutional investors because they, if the market starts to run, they don't want to miss it. So they want to be fully invested as they go into the new year because if they fall behind, they're playing catch up the whole rest of the year. But but with some of these things, we have valuations that are a little elevated, whether it be China or Syria. One of the things that we haven't talked about at all in the marketplace in the last couple of months since the election is really what's been going on in the Middle East and if we have some sort of flare up in that situation. So, and then of course we will be coming in with the same kind of interest rate backdrop that we had last year, where the Fed raised interest rates and the stock market fell out of bed in the early part of the year. Now, of course, that had a lot to do with oil prices as well. But the point is, if you do feel you want to get into the beginning of the year and to be long, that's great. But you might want to take advantage to buy a few puts out there because they're going to be relatively inexpensive, as the VIX is showing.
Okay, buy some puts out there.
I agree with that. That's a great idea.
And Boris agrees. Buy a little put action, a little protection, just in case. We like that. Matt Maley, Boris Schlossberg, gentlemen, both thank you. Appreciate that. Folks, thank you for watching Trading Nation. I'm Brian Sullivan, and we'll see you next time.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.